In June 2018, YouTuber Hype Mike uploaded footage of a 3 a.m. exploration inside an abandoned factory. It begins like another routine urbex challenge. But soon, the atmosphere turns unsettling even before he reaches the entrance. Some distant movement catches his eye, a narrow trail cuts through the overgrown brush, and what appears to be a makeshift campsite sits beside the factory. Still, Mike presses on and steps forward to investigate the place. But just as he approaches the building, an eerie slam suddenly echoes from somewhere deep within the building.
The hell? Did you hear that?
Despite the warning signs, he keeps moving, checking one room after another. Every search comes up empty. There is no sign of forced entry or movement. Nothing explains what echoed through the building moments earlier. After a minute of searching, he convinces himself it was nothing and heads even deeper inside. A decision he'd soon regret.
What the hell? Is that blood? No way. That's like either like red paint or like I don't know what that is. I have a feeling it's like red paint. I don't think like blood's like. What the hell's going on, man? Can you open this? I think it's like busted shut. What the hell? I'm gonna check that out. Guys, this place is a lot bigger than I thought.
As daylight fades, the mood turns more unsettling. Darkness swallows the factory far more quickly than expected, leaving the entire place unnaturally silent. While Mike calmly speaks to the camera, something in the dark moves.
Yo! Something just moved in there. Hello? I don't think I actually fit in this room. Hello? Okay, no one here. Thank God. Whew.
He gets up to look for it, but inside the room, nothing seems out of place. However, the moment he steps into the hallway, that fragile sense of safety suddenly disappears.
Hello? Guys, my bag's over there. Hey man, whatever you're doing is not cool, bro.
Blocking the hallway stands a creepy man facing the wall. He has something metallic in his hands that resembles a knife. But what's more terrifying than the weapon is that he is standing across the only escape route for Mike. Mike freezes instantly, struggling to figure out what's going on. And the moment he inches forward, the stranger turns unexpectedly.
What the hell are you doing, dude? Whoever you are, leave me alone. Okay? Shit. Fuck. Okay, get me out of here, guys.
Mike immediately runs without thinking, desperate to reach the main warehouse. But that only made everything worse.
Holy shit. Run! Oh God! Oh God! Where'd he go? Oh! Yo! Holy crap! Oh my God! Oh my God! Leave me alone! Holy crap! Okay, guys, I need to finish this here. Holy shit, I'm ending it here.
Visibly shaken by what he just encountered, he leaves the factory without looking back. That night, he returned home unharmed. But he won't ever visit that place again. What traumatized him long after the video ends is not the knife or the darkness. It's the moment Mike convinced himself that nothing was wrong. But every warning was always there, which he ignored. The man in that hallway had been in that building the entire time and could have attacked Mike at any moment. But danger doesn't only hide in abandoned places. Sometimes it strikes in everyday life. A normal walk to work turned into a fight for survival in just 1 second. On the morning of October 2nd, 2025, at around 7:40 a.m., 26-year-old Grace Lee was walking through Melbourne's CBD on her way to work as a sushi chef. Like any other morning, she made her way down Little Bourke Street, unaware that a complete stranger was about to change her life forever. And within seconds, one CCTV camera captured a horrifying moment. Out of nowhere, a woman sprinted up behind Grace. Before she had any chance to react, the stranger stepped in front of her, pulled out a knife, and stabbed her once in the right side of the chest. Without saying a word, the attacker turned around and ran, disappearing into nearby side streets. The sudden attack left Grace bleeding heavily on the sidewalk. She collapsed to her knees, but somehow managed to pull out her phone while pressing her hand against the stab wound to slow the bleeding. Within moments, horrified bystanders rushed over to help as emergency crews raced to the scene. Doctors later discovered the knife had punctured her lung badly, causing blood and air to build up around it, a potentially life-threatening condition. She spent the next 3 days in the hospital recovering from the attack. Meanwhile, detectives reviewed CCTV footage from across the area, tracing the suspect's movements as she fled through Melbourne streets. After an extensive search, police finally located and arrested a 32-year-old Melbourne resident named Brandon Hall. Officers also recovered the knife that was used in the attack. He was charged with intentionally causing injury and committing an indictable offense while already out on bail. Grace survived the stabbing, but the attack left far more than a physical wound. The most disturbing part was that the attack was completely random. But the traumatic encounter left Grace too afraid to leave her home and constantly looking over her shoulder whenever someone walked behind her. But if you found that disturbing, then brace yourself for this next one. The next case brings the horror even closer to home. One night in a household, security cameras captured a deeply disturbed man taking a young girl who had been staying overnight at her cousin's house. What began as an innocent sleepover was about to become every family's worst nightmare.
Get off me! Why? I don't want... Dad, take me back to your house! What the f*** are you doing?
Help me, dude! Help me! Dad, come here! Come here! No.
On March 2nd, 2024, Akron police rushed to a neighborhood after reports claimed a man had snatched his sister's friend's child during an overnight stay at the house he shared with his sister and niece. The girl managed to escape, forcing him to abandon his plan and run toward a nearby neighbor's home before officers arrived.
Stop, no! I'm telling. Stop. Stop.
Dad!
Shut up and get off me! Why? I don't want... Dad!
Dad!
Take me back!
Dad!
Dad, take me back to your house!
What the f*** are you doing?
Jeez, dude. Dad!
What are you doing?
Dad!
What are you doing?
Help me, dude. What the f*** is that?
What the f*** are
Okay,
you
it's a
doing?
little girl.
No!
What are you doing?
Fucking, man, get the f*** up. Bro, help me, dude. Help me. What is that? Come here. Come here. No, come here.
Dude, I
Come here.
didn't do
Who are you?
that. I
Who are you?
swear to God! I'm gonna kill you! I wasn't
Where,
meaning
who?
to do it.
saying.
Jason, I think the net. I'm saying that.
Check my dick!
Go in the house. Go in the house. Go in the house. Hey, man, what the f? Go in the house.
But I need to go back to
Okay, yes, go in the house. I'm fine. You fine here. I'm not going. No, Joe.
Get the f out of here. Dude, I'm gonna kill you.
Get in here.
Tell me that it was he was still inside the glass.
What the f is going on?
Huh?
You what?
He hooked me up and I...
That's
Who is this?
This is...
that's
What the f is you doing?
The suspect dragged the child toward a nearby house, but a neighbor spotted what was happening and rushed in without a second thought. Fortunately, he managed to pull the terrified child free and held the unstable man at gunpoint until police arrived. Only then, as officers took control of the scene, did they realize the suspect was in the middle of a severe mental health crisis.
He don't got no gun though?
No, he don't have the gun.
Cool, go back inside. Let me chill, let me figure out what's going on. 17, anybody en route could slow down. Nobody has a gun right now. I have the mail right here on the porch.
I apologize for that hot
Stand up, stand up.
Listen.
17, I copy.
Bitch,
All right, listen.
you know
That's my number.
That's your neighbor?
That's my neighbor's brother.
Okay.
He did yard work for me and everything. For some reason, he came to me with a little girl tonight.
Help me, man. Where the little girl at?
What could have ended far worse, luckily didn't. The child was safely reunited with the parents, while the suspected kidnapper was arrested, jailed, and charged with kidnapping. But what the camera captured was not a random attack. It was a betrayal from inside the home, and the girl had to find her own way out of it. If that felt too close to home, the next victim was surrounded by people and still completely alone. Arthur, better known as Arthur Travels on YouTube, is a British travel vlogger who explores lesser-known and often misunderstood destinations like Pakistan, Jamaica, and Kenya. His videos focus on authentic local culture, traditional food, and conversations with everyday people, offering a look beyond typical tourist attractions. By March 2026, he had wandered Pakistan's crowded streets all day before pausing outside Empress Market for a roadside massage. It seemed harmless. He set his belongings beside him, never letting them leave view. Everything felt ordinary for one quiet moment until something shifted without warning at all.
Oh, here we go.
They got it.
Huh?
हमारी दुकानदारी है
As the massage went on, Arthur relaxed completely, and that lapse was all it took. A stranger drifted into frame, heading straight for Arthur's belongings with the confidence of someone who'd done this before. Suddenly, he noticed the camera and froze, silently planning his next move.
Hada. Salam alaikum.
At first, Arthur ignored his presence. But once the massage pulled Arthur in and the crowd left the scene, the stranger finally made his move. Take a look.
Like he's playing the tabla. He's like playing a drum on me.
You are a beautiful boy.
Hey, Nate! You try to steal from me. Oh, wait. Chalo. He's got a knife on him. Hey. He threatened to stab me. He's got a knife on him.
The moment the man moved in to rob Arthur, Arthur was alarmed and caught him off guard. But the man had an open knife in his hand. He planned to rob Arthur, and if anything went wrong, he was ready to stab him. Even while walking away, the man continued threatening to stab Arthur. Luckily, he disappeared in a moment. But the strangest part was that none of the bystanders reacted, as if scenes like this were nothing unusual. Some later claimed the man was mentally unstable, but pay attention to how the others spoke to him beforehand.
Huh? Oh, my slipper's falling out. Salam alaikum.
It seemed like everyone knew the attacker and his traits, but still never alerted Arthur. Even the roadside masseuse asked him not to cause trouble while he had a customer. So, do you think the man was really mentally ill? Or did Arthur, being a tourist, almost become a victim of a situation? A knife was terrifying enough, but the next group was chased through the woods by gunfire. Genya Stepanov is a Russian YouTuber known for exploring abandoned buildings, forgotten forests, and other isolated places. He regularly films himself scaling rooftops, climbing radio towers, and chasing dangerous experiences. Every upload treats the risk like part of the adventure. That confidence lasts until one exploration spirals toward disaster. It begins when he and his friends head deep into the forest to investigate an abandoned campground left behind after the Chernobyl disaster.
В лес с Саней, с Славой и со мной, короче. Куда мы идем, короче, объясни.
Короче, достаточно интересное место, в котором достаточно хороший охрана.
After a short hike, they reached the entrance. They saw no lights or voices nearby. A completely isolated place that had been left to decay for years. Every step inside only made the silence feel heavier as they began exploring.
Главное, чтобы на меня сейчас собаки не напали. Одному, потому что ходить такое себе. Вот он. Карусель. Опа. Доброе утро. Такая прикольная карусель. Сейчас как-то не очень это в кадре выглядит, потому что все равно на улице. Погода такая.
Rust covered everything. A carousel, an empty swimming pool, every corner frozen exactly as it had been on the day the place was abandoned. They headed inside to investigate. But moments later, unfamiliar sounds drifted in from outside, and the entire atmosphere shifted into something deeply unsettling.
Но может быть, там просто написано последняя дата 2002. Внимание, время пользования телефоном. Лол, время пользования телефоном было с 4 до 6. Лол. Ой, еще одна комната. Какая-то фигня тут разбросана, колбы. Битые, все. Шкафчики. Прикольно. Когда-то тут кто-то жил. Чё? Она, это бабка. Саня, Саня, веткой не дай мне в глаз, пожалуйста. Да нет. Неплохо. Побег от первого лица. Без стабилизации, это жестко.
A man suddenly started screaming at them, which by itself wasn't all that alarming. They could have turned around, walked off, and the night would have ended there. Instead, one terrifying moment changed everything, sending them sprinting at full speed. Watch closely.
Она сказала, ну-ка быстро валим отсюда, а то я сейчас вам... Ух, а вот теперь бежим быстрее. Тихо, тихо, Саня.
The boys scattered in panic, sprinting wherever they could. Suddenly, gunshots tore through the silence. But nothing about it added up to them. The factory looked completely abandoned. There wasn't a single sign that anyone still lived there. So who was firing? A caretaker? A squatter? In the building rotting deep in the woods, there was barely anything left inside worth taking. So why shoot at trespassers? Nobody knows what really happened that night. The moment the boys felt hunted, they only ran for their lives, never looking back again. Being hunted by someone you cannot see is terrifying. But the next attacker never tried to hide. On May 5, 2026 in São Paulo, 29-year-old hairstylist Eduardo Ferrari was cutting a customer's hair when 27-year-old Lice Gabriela Barbosa da Cunha entered the salon. But unlike an ordinary customer, she had arrived to settle a month-old dispute. Back on April 7th, da Cunha had visited the same salon for a highlighting and texturizing treatment. She initially left satisfied and even shared the results on social media. But days later, she began demanding a refund, claiming the haircut had ruined her appearance. But the salon refused, saying the treatment had been carried out exactly as agreed. Instead of letting the matter go, da Cunha's complaints grew increasingly aggressive. At one point, she had even threatened Ferrari's life. So, when she showed up unannounced at the salon that Tuesday, employees knew this wasn't another appointment. As the argument escalated, the building's doorman was called to remove her. But before anyone could escort her out, she did something terrifying. Da Cunha quietly waited until Ferrari turned his back while working on another client. Within seconds, she pulled a knife from her handbag and stabbed him between the shoulder blades. Two men immediately restrained da Cunha while Ferrari stumbled toward the exit in shock. Fortunately, Ferrari's injuries turned out to be non-lethal and he survived. But police arrested da Cunha at the scene and authorities charged her with attempted murder. The most chilling part is not the attack itself. It is that nobody in that salon was surprised enough to stop it in time. If an attack inside a crowded salon was terrifying, imagine seeing the same danger outside your front door. A single knock at the door turned an entire neighborhood into a nightmare. On the evening of July 17th, 2025, a gritty old man walked through a quiet Sacramento neighborhood carrying a large knife. Families inside their homes had no idea he was about to stop at their front doors. Suddenly, one home's Ring camera captured a chilling scene. The man stepped onto the porch, raised the knife, and repeatedly thrust it toward the front door as if he were trying to stab someone standing on the other side. Between each stabbing motion, he pounded on the door. What made the scene even creepier was how weirdly he was also acting the entire time. Inside, the family watched the horrifying scene unfold through their security camera. Realizing they were face to face with a potentially deadly intruder, they locked every door, stayed hidden, and called 911. But this wasn't the only house he targeted. As deputies responded, more residents reported the same man banging on their doors with a knife. Fortunately, no one let him in, and he fled before officers arrived. Authorities later identified him as 56-year-old Brian Matson and arrested him Saturday morning, but he was released just hours later after being booked on a criminal trespassing charge. Later that same day, Matson was arrested again for another trespassing incident. And somewhere in Sacramento that evening, those same families were locking their doors again, with no guarantee that he would not come back. Those families survived because they never opened the door. The next woman did, and instantly regretted it. On the night of January 22nd, just after 10 p.m., 24-year-old personal trainer Nishali Alma walked into the gym at her Tampa apartment complex for what should have been an ordinary workout. She was alone, focused on exercising, when she noticed a man waiting outside the locked entrance. She had seen him there before in the gym, so nothing about him seemed unusual. But just after she unlocked the door and let him inside, everything seemed normal for a brief moment. Suddenly, instead of heading toward the equipment, the man turned and walked straight toward her. At first, Alma tried to keep her distance, but he didn't stop. The closer he got, the more obvious it became that he wasn't there to work out. Within seconds, he was chasing her around the gym, leaving her nowhere to run. He eventually caught Alma off guard, slammed her to the ground, and pinned her beneath him. Alone inside the empty gym, she had only one choice left: fight. But to the man's surprise, she used all her strength and years of weight training and fought back, locking him in a chokehold and reaching for her phone to call 911 at the same time. Police identified the attacker as 25-year-old Xavier Thomas Jones and arrested him the next day. He later pleaded not guilty to charges of kidnapping. What makes this case so disturbing is that someone familiar suddenly tried to turn a woman's life into a nightmare. Had Alma failed to fight back, the night could have changed her life in the most unthinkable way. She survived because she fought back, but the next attack came without a chase, a warning, or even a chance to react. In broad daylight on May 16, 2026, a man walked up to a home in South Carolina carrying a shotgun. The people inside had no warning of what was about to happen, but the home's doorbell camera captured a terrifying moment. The man stepped onto the porch, aimed the shotgun directly at the front door, and fired. The blast tore through the entrance, but luckily, no one inside was injured. Moments later, he turned around and left, leaving the shaken residents to wonder if the nightmare was over. But it wasn't. Hours later, at around 11 p.m., the same man returned to the home. This time, the violence escalated into tragedy. During the confrontation, 19-year-old Camaria Tidwell was shot. When officers arrived, they found her lying outside the home with a gunshot wound. Despite emergency efforts, she later died from her injuries. Authorities later identified the suspect as 34-year-old Sean Hubbard. Sean Hubbard targeted the home to seek revenge over a canceled car repair job. Camaria Tidwell was not the intended target, but was caught outside when he returned to attack. She was tragically killed as a result of this trivial financial dispute. As a result, he was later arrested and charged with murder and possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. That's all for today, folks. If you'd like to see more of this creepy content, click on the video on screen.